Not only did she delete a lot of her videos, honey, she even unfriended all of her family members. There are very few people she's following, and none of them are family members.
It seems that Gypsy Rose Blanchard's social media presence has undergone a drastic overhaul, likely orchestrated by her team following weeks of intense backlash. This decision appears to stem from several controversies sparked by her recent online activities, including live streams and posts that many found inappropriate or contentious. Examples include sharing personal updates like ultrasound images of her baby, and making provocative remarks on various subjects such as the Menendez brothers. These actions fueled widespread criticism, prompting her team to intervene and take control. One significant flashpoint involved her public posts about her personal life, especially her relationship with Ryan, which left fans and followers speculating about the reality of her situation.
Y'all, you know what time it is. It's tea time. Baby, not only did she delete a lot of her videos, honey, she even unfriended all of her family members. There are very few people she's following, and none of them are family members.
The changes to her accounts are striking, signaling a shift in focus. Gypsy's main social media platforms have been stripped of personal content, now featuring a sparse, professional image. Sentimental posts about her husband, such as shared moments and photos, have been completely removed from her Instagram and TikTok accounts. Even the ultrasound pictures and other updates tied to her pregnancy, which once fostered a connection with her followers, have been deleted. Similarly, her posts about the controversial paternity test have also disappeared. The once chaotic live streams, known for unfiltered and impulsive confessions that often courted backlash, are gone as well, seemingly never to return. Casual and relatable content like playful TikToks and behind-the-scenes glimpses of her life has been scrubbed away. Posts involving family and friends have also been erased, leaving her accounts sterile and devoid of personality. What remains are carefully curated posts aimed at promoting her memoir, My Time to Stand, and her upcoming reality show. The transformation is stark, replacing raw authenticity with a calculated, polished image focused solely on business.
This is Gypsy Rose's account. She's following 8 people. There was 59 people she was following before. Look how many deleted videos. Now look at her, who she's following. Literally, that's it. 8 people. She says she's following her alleged baby daddy.
For longtime followers, this shift is jarring, almost alienating. The accounts no longer feel personal, as if Gypsy has been replaced by a brand-driven persona. Yet, Gypsy isn't entirely vanishing from social media. She has reportedly created new private accounts under the mysterious alias Cauldron Heart of Mind, which are accessible only to a select few. These new accounts, already sparking interest on TikTok, are tightly locked down, marking a sharp departure from her previous, openly accessible presence. While this controlled approach may help manage her public image, it leaves fans grappling with a sense of detachment, longing for the authenticity that once defined her online persona.
Melissa Moore, Nick Viles, Files, Lifetime, Ken, the tattoo boy face, and that's it, and that's how. I'm telling you, I think something's brewing with her sister, Christy.
It's possible that Gypsy's private account, Cauldron Heart of Mine, could become a space for more personal updates and intimate glimpses into her life with Ken away from the public eye. However, whether these updates will stay private or eventually find their way into the public sphere is uncertain, especially given Gypsy's history of oversharing. Interestingly, her new account has already been verified, sparking curiosity due to its limited number of followers. The rapid acquisition of the blue checkmark has led many to question how this was achieved so quickly. The account seems poised to be a mix of personal updates and carefully curated professional content.
Rod, I feel like she's not really liking that she doesn't really have control. I feel like she's going to turn on Christy as soon as she gets off of parole. Don't say I never told y'all. I see it coming. Ryan Anderson, Ken,
Family members who were unfollowed on her main accounts have reconnected with her on this private page, suggesting this space is intended for her inner circle. Meanwhile, her presence on Facebook is more complicated. Gypsy recently launched a public page called Stand With Survivors to advocate for victims and share updates. However, the page has since vanished, leaving fans wondering if it was abandoned or if she realized she lacked the resources to maintain such an image. Facebook now feels like a fragmented piece of her digital strategy, lacking clear direction. These new accounts appear to serve two primary purposes. First, they act as a buffer between Gypsy's tumultuous personal life and her polished, business-focused public persona. This division allows her team to maintain a professional image while giving Gypsy a private space to share updates on her terms. Second, these private platforms offer her a safer avenue to share personal milestones, such as her marriage and pregnancy, without the drama that previously unfolded on her public pages. Still, with Gypsy's penchant for transparency, it's unclear how long this privacy will last. Why the overhaul?
Mia and Christy, I feel like they're in danger. I don't know what will happen, but I just feel like it's going to be one of the four of them. And I feel like Bree might be an accomplice. I'm just saying. Because she not too right in the head at all.
To understand why Gypsy's team took such drastic steps, locking her out of her own accounts, erasing her digital footprint, and starting over, it's necessary to revisit the chaos leading up to these changes. Recent live streams revealed layers of unresolved emotions, misplaced priorities, and strained relationships. What began as casual chats often turned into unfiltered moments that left viewers uncomfortable. One particularly contentious moment came during a live stream when Gypsy repeatedly referred to her ex, Ryan, as "my husband," despite their divorce not being finalized. Her insistence, "That's my husband," slapping some girl's ass, struck a discordant note, especially since she publicly claims to be happily married to Ken and expecting his child. This possessiveness felt disrespectful not only to Ken, but also to Ryan, who seemed to be moving on. It raised questions about whether Gypsy still harbors unresolved feelings for Ryan, casting doubt on her emotional commitment to Ken.
Sit there and then constantly be like, "She's my wife, I can talk about her all I want. She's my wife, she's my wife, she's my wife." Well, looking at that video, that's my husband. That's my husband. He's slapping some girl's ass. That's my husband. We're still married. He's still married. I'm still married.
For many viewers, this behavior was a red flag, blurring the lines between her past with Ryan and her present with Ken. The situation became even more troubling when Gypsy involved her unborn child in the drama. In an attempt to portray herself as the more mature party, she stated, "There is a child in this situation. It's not his child, so it's not his problem. But this baby didn't ask to be brought into this." While her intention may have been to emphasize her priorities, the statement backfired, drawing her unborn child into unnecessary conflict.
It's not about Ken. It's about this baby. This baby is innocent in all of this. This baby didn't ask to be brought into the situation. So the grown-up thing to do would be for the both of us to stop this tit-for-tat game, and once the divorce is final, go our separate ways.
This pattern of oversharing and emotional entanglement likely prompted her team to enforce a reset. The goal seems to be to create a clean slate, free from the turbulence that previously defined her public presence. Whether this strategy will succeed in rebranding Gypsy remains to be seen, but for now, her new accounts signal an effort to regain control and establish boundaries in her digital life. She expressed, "I just want him to respect me. Or if he can't respect me, at least respect my child. My child doesn't deserve all this chaos." However, her plea felt contradictory. How could she demand respect for her child while simultaneously dragging the child into a public feud with her ex? For many, this highlighted Gypsy's recurring inability to establish clear boundaries between her personal conflicts and the narratives she shares publicly.
Society's view of the situation. So, and I understand that sexism and favoritism towards men has been a thing for as long as can be, okay? So, I just don't see how when a man does something, then it's praised. But when a woman does something, she gets slandered and slammed for it.
Throughout the live stream, her tone was laced with comments that came across as both disrespectful and hypocritical. While she claimed to wish Ryan well, she couldn't resist criticizing his behavior, particularly referencing a viral video of him dancing with another woman. Gypsy framed her frustration not as jealousy, but as disappointment in societal double standards, stating, "When a man does something, it's praised, but when a woman does something, she's criticized." While this argument had merit in a broader sense, the context undermined her point. Her visible annoyance with Ryan's actions contradicted her claims of being unbothered, and she downplayed her own past actions, dismissing them as just trying to be classy, while admitting to taking verbal jabs at him out of frustration.
Us with a picture of her nice little baby, which she promised she wouldn't be sharing on the internet, but here we are. One thing about Gypsy Rose, she's gonna give us what we want. Guys, this baby looks exactly like Dee. And not this ultrasound picture. I gotta show you guys a whole other picture. If you don't follow this Gypsy stuff, you need to start, because this woman is gonna give us what we want.
Gypsy also made a remark that seemed to dismiss Ryan's autonomy altogether, saying, "Why don't you talk about your own life? Why do you keep talking about me?" She accused Ryan of centering his live streams around her, portraying herself as the victim of his narrative. However, this accusation felt hypocritical, as she herself prominently discussed him during her own live stream. For someone who insisted she was moving on, her focus on Ryan's actions suggested otherwise. Perhaps the most troubling aspect of the livestream was her repeated references to Ryan as "my husband." By doing so, Gypsy not only disrespected Ken, but also appeared to sideline him in her life, despite claiming to be happily married to him. Statements like, "I don't care if Ryan is with a million girls, but he's still my husband," struck many as dismissive of Ken's role and position in her life. This possessive language raised questions about her emotional closure with Ryan and whether unresolved feelings could jeopardize her relationship with Ken. Ken, who has largely stayed out of the public eye, now found himself pulled into an unnecessary triangle of tension. Her remarks left followers questioning whether Ken was being treated fairly or merely caught in the crossfire of Gypsy's unresolved issues with Ryan. The live stream drew backlash not just for its content, but also for its delivery. The combination of possessive language, the unnecessary involvement of her baby in the drama, and her hypocritical critiques of Ryan painted a picture of someone struggling to move forward. While she may have intended to clear the air, her words only added to the chaos. Her insistence on calling Ryan "my husband" blurred the lines between her past and present, leaving fans confused and concerned about her emotional state. The controversy surrounding Gypsy's pregnancy added another layer of complexity to her public missteps. Instead of keeping her pregnancy a private, joyful experience, she chose to document every step of the journey for her audience, a choice that quickly invited scrutiny. The backlash began when she shared ultrasound images, a gesture that might have been heartwarming in a different context. However, for someone like Gypsy, whose every move is heavily criticized, it only fueled further division among her followers. The public's reaction was far from passive. They relentlessly analyzed every detail of Gypsy's posts, speculating about the baby's paternity. In an effort to silence the rumors, Gypsy shared something deeply personal: paternity test results. These were intended to confirm her previous statements that Ken, her current husband, was the father of her child. However, the move backfired, sparking intense backlash. Critics argued that her decision to share such private information demonstrated a troubling lack of boundaries. By bringing her unborn child into the public spotlight, Gypsy shifted the focus of her pregnancy from a personal milestone to a spectacle for attention. This misstep was seen as part of a larger pattern: her inability to separate her personal life from her public persona. Critics pointed out that Gypsy seemed unwilling or unable to handle such sensitive issues with the care and discretion they required. Not only did these actions harm her reputation, but they also raised questions about her readiness to balance her newfound freedom with the responsibilities it entails. This episode underscores a deeper truth about Gypsy Rose Blanchard. She has a knack for generating drama, even when it isn't intentional. Her social media journey has been a tumultuous roller coaster of vulnerability, controversy, and chaos. While her team's recent interventions may offer a temporary reprieve, the lingering question remains: can Gypsy truly change, or will her old habits resurface on these newly curated platforms? Only time will reveal the answer. What's certain is that Gypsy's story is far from over, and the world will be watching every step she takes.